Thanks everybody for coming to Graduate School Information Night. We have 3 graduate programs here at HSU, and yeah, I think we should turn it over to Jen to start with the counseling program first, though.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. So yeah, my name is Jen Petullo, and I'm the coordinator of the counseling program. So I'm going to start off and just tell you a little bit about the program, and then we're going to have breakout rooms, and I can answer your questions at that time. So yeah, just a little bit of information. I don't have a slideshow or anything, but I just wanted to basically tell you about the program. So the counseling program is a 2-year program. The classes that we offer are the classes that are required by the state of California licensing board in order to apply for an MFT license. So we're accredited by the Board of Behavioral Sciences. And after you graduate, you'll be applying for a license. And in order to do that, you'll need to complete 3,000 hours of supervised experience. So you'll start to complete those hours while you're in our program. So you'll be completing 150 hours starting in your 2nd semester of our program. And you'll be actually working with clients on campus at the counseling and psychological services. So yeah, you'll do 150 hours while you're at HSU. And then you'll be taking classes, and then we have what's called a culminating experience, where you'll be either taking an exam, a comprehensive exam, or completing a thesis. So a couple other things to know about the program, just a few of the things that kind of make our program unique. One is that we work with a small cohort system. So the students in our cohorts are in a very small group of about 12 people. So the students really get to know each other and their instructors very well. The other thing to know about our program is that we have an emphasis on research and using evidence-based tools and techniques within the field of psychology. And the other thing that we really try to focus on is meeting the needs of clients that reflects the multicultural diversity of our region. So those are kind of the 3 emphasis of the program. In addition to that, we also really encourage you to develop self-awareness and your identity as a clinician while you're in the program. So we're really working, because we're such a small program, we're really working with students a lot on development of professionalism and self-growth and just your identity as a person. So other than that, our classes really are fulfilling the requirements that are put out by the state of California for the MFT license. So we have the classes that fulfill that. And what I can do is I'm going to put a couple of things in the chat for you. So what I have here are a couple of the links that might be helpful to you. So to apply for our program, you'll fill out an application through Cal State Apply. And so I just put that link. And to find out more information about our program, I suggest going to our website and looking there. That has information that you'll need to be able to apply, and just also it provides an overview of the program. And the application period for all of our programs is open now, and our applications are due by February 1st. So that's just kind of the brief introductory information, and I'm sure that there's a lot more questions. So I think I'll leave it at that, and then when we're in the breakout room, I'd be happy to answer more questions. So thank you.
Frank, would you like to go with school psych?
Absolutely. Thank you, Amber. Hi, my name is Dr. Frank DiMatteo. I am the coordinator of the school psychology program. I am a school psychology practitioner. I worked in the field for 10 years in the K through 12 public ed setting before I transitioned to academe. The school psych program here at Humboldt is a 3-year program. And it really follows the traditional model of training for school psychologists, meaning that it combines your coursework with practicum experiences, and then finally your internship experience. So the first year in the program is all, the first semester in the program is all coursework. And then your second semester is coursework and practicum. That first practicum is with me, live supervision in the Counseling and Psychological Services Center. And then beginning in your third semester, you continue your practicum, but this time it will be in the public ed setting. You continue your practicum along with your coursework for the third semester, and the fourth semester is coursework and practicum in the public ed setting again. Your third year is an internship. The internship is of your choosing, as long as it meets the requirements set forth by the state and set forth by the program. So all internship placements need to be approved by me. And one thing I want to point out is your practicum placements, before you get to internship, your practicum placements are assigned, and they're all local within the local school districts. But your internship can be in other states. We have many students this year who are up in Oregon and Washington. And then we also have probably 3 to 4 interns who are local geographically. The neat thing about the school psych profession is that it's very lucrative. The profession is suffering a shortage of school psychologists, and with the recent pandemic and employment rates, districts are very much in need of school psychological services. So oftentimes, or if not in all cases, when folks are on their internship, they are getting paid with benefits. The local folks typically are in the mid-20s to low 30s, but I have had interns here while I'm at Humboldt who were $65,000 per year for 180 days of work, and that's without your license. So very, very lucrative. The program emphasizes evidence-based interventions, consultation, counseling, assessment, special education eligibility, and then research, believe it or not. So, the psych, we talk, folks come to me, and sometimes I say, well, you sound more like your MFT, so we forward you to Jen. They oftentimes confuse counseling with school psych. But in both cases, it sounds we're very much research oriented. The neat thing is that our program is certified by the CTCC, California Teacher Credentialing Commission, and it follows the program outline of the National Association of School Psychologists. So when you complete the program successfully, you earn a California license. Our program does not require a thesis. In place of that, we require a professional portfolio, which you will be required to defend on 2 occasions. One occasion in order to go on to internship, and 1 occasion in order to graduate. So I provided a nice little compact overview, and I hope to see you in the breakout room.
Thanks, Frank. I can go next, or start to go next. My name is Dr. Amber Gaffney. I am the coordinator for the Academic Research Master's Program at HSU. And there are a couple of different options on this one. And so we have a traditional 2-year master's program. And through that, most of our students get through the program in 2 years. The culmination experience is a thesis. You will be conducting research in the program. The cool part about, well, hopefully there are so many cool parts about conducting research, but you get to kind of pick your own topic or pick a topic that is something that you're interested in, that also your advisor is interested in. And if you come into the breakout room, I can give you some of the coursework and stuff like that info. I don't want to waste too much time with that now, but we also have within the academic research master's program, we also have what's called the blended program. It's a 5th-year master's program. So if you are a junior right now, or you foresee yourself being a junior and you're like, hey, I would like to get through graduate school with just 1 year as opposed to 2 years. In your senior year, you would start taking graduate classes while also finishing up your undergraduate classes. And yeah, just to give you sort of an idea, of the types of research or how you apply to this program, because it's a little different than the others. You apply to this program to work with a specific professor or advisor. And so here I've shared my screen, and these are the folks that you could choose to work with. This guy right here, Chris Aberson. He is a specialist in methodology and statistics, methodology, and also intergroup relations. Carrie Agner is on sabbatical right now, but she's a health psychologist, and she also co-coordinates the counseling program, so there's some overlap there. Here's me, social identity theorist extraordinaire and political psychologist. Ethan Gatton, you have a neuropsychologist, and Ben Graham does a lot of different stuff, so on sexual diversity and also community psychology. Greg Gold is a social psychologist who does a whole bunch of different aspects of social psychology. Amanda is a social neuroscientist. Tasha, who she'll be back, I think, next fall, but Tasha is a developmental psychologist, which is the same for Maria Iturbide, and who also is a developmental psychologist and a culture and diversity specialist. Mari Sanchez is a cognitive psychologist and spans kind of the gamut of cognitive psychology. And Brandy Lynn focuses on student success outcomes from a developmental perspective. And then we also have Chris Walmsley, who specializes in behavior analysis. And so Dr. Walmsley is here with me to talk a little bit about the behavior analysis program, because while I coordinate the whole AR program, the behavior analysis is kind of a separate entity, and Dr. Walmsley is absolutely an expert on that. So I'm going to turn it over to you real quickly, Chris.
Thanks, Amber. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. I see some familiar names and faces, so welcome. I'm Dr. Chris Walmsley, and I am a board-certified behavior analyst, a BCBA, and I am happy to talk about the behavior analysis emphasis. Sharing my screen. Okay. All right, first, a bone to pick with criminal minds. Anybody in this room who's expecting me to talk about how behavior analysts go across the country chasing down serial killers as they do in Criminal Minds, sorry, folks, hate to break some hearts, but that is not what we do, as exciting as that might be. If you have taken a class with me, you know how much of a horror fan I am, and I enjoy true crime as well, but this is not the scope of practice in behavior analysis, unfortunately. And I understand now why a lot of people come up to me saying behavioral analysis, which just sounds not quite right to me, because our field is behavior analysis, not behavioral analysis. It's probably coming from this show. So what do we do? Well, behavior analysts most commonly provide behavioral assessment and treatment to treat challenging behavior. So things like that an individual might engage in, like aggression, property destruction, really dangerous or harmful behaviors to themselves, their others, or people in the community. And this is across the lifespan, from as early as 2 or 3 years old, in early intervention behavioral work for very young children who just got a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Early intervention is where behavior analysts also work. All the way through adolescence to adulthood to older adulthood. My specialty area is behavioral gerontology, which is applying the science of behavior analysis to the unique challenges older adults face, specifically the behavioral symptoms of dementia. But generally speaking, behavior analysis is both a science and a practice. So we take objective behavioral data when we're delivering services so that we can continually make data-based decisions as the client progresses through treatment. So it kind of almost looks like research, but it's also nested in service delivery. So I think this is why behavior analysis in the academic research program is a pretty good fit, because we're in both worlds, both in service delivery and in research, and the two coalesce. When it comes to assessment, identifying the needs and what the issue is, when we get a referral, we do what's called functional assessment. It's a specific kind of assessment in which the person or the clinician identifies what the potential environmental variables might be present that are influencing the behaviors that might need clinical intervention. Of course, then from that assessment, that you derive some kind of treatment from that. So assessment is vital because there's a lot of treatment utility to it. It helps you to plan for a potential function-based treatment you would implement. And when you implement that, both yourself with the client, you also commonly train others in that individual's environment to carry out the intervention. Staff, or if it's in home-based services, you train the caregivers, so a lot of parent training, and offering supports as you continue to roll out and monitor how the intervention is going. As I mentioned before, we do a lot of heavy behavioral data collection. So each session, treatment session, you go in with a data sheet and collect data, and then you graph that and conduct what's called visual analysis, which is different from statistical analysis in group design research. In behavior analysis, we use single subject design methodology. It turns out, folks, there's a couple of different ways to do good research. And so there's an alternative to group design that we use. So there are a lot of, in these 5 composite skills, there are a lot of different skills that we need to establish in an up and coming behavior analyst. So let's look at what some of those courses might be. First, the prerequisites specific to this emphasis area is Psych 320 behavior analysis. That's a 4-unit lecture and lab offered every spring semester. And Psych 322 learning and motivation is the other requirement for this emphasis area. And this is above and beyond the academic research program requirements. The program, I teach this or I offer it from a scientist practitioner model. So that is, you learn not only how to consume research and stay up to date with emerging lines of evidence and treatments in the field, which is an ethical obligation, not only in behavior analysis, but as Jen and Frank have mentioned, it's part and parcel of a lot of service delivery in professional practice in psychology. It's a scientist practitioner model because we also teach you the skills to be able to do your own research. And in behavior analysis, it's not uncommon for a master's level practitioner, as they're working in the field, to actually do some research and then publish that research. So we're pretty unique in that it's not just PhD level researchers that are driving the research in the field. There's a feedback loop between more academic side of research and also the on the ground, where the rubber meets the road sorts of research that continues to form and evolve our practice. So the coursework cuts across their psychology department and the school psych program. So you take a behavior assessment class with some school psychology folks from that program. There's also a special education credential program in the School of Education, and there are a couple of ABA courses that my students take there. And then I offer a few classes in-house, including ethics and professionalism, single subject experimental designs, and a philosophy of science course I'm starting to offer next semester, which is all about B.F. Skinner's philosophy called radical behaviorism and how we conceptualize client problems and just general problems that we face in the world, larger social issues. We do require either a master's project or thesis, and I encourage my students to come up with a project or thesis that allows them to further hone their research and clinical skills, and also results in improving the lives of individuals in the community. So I've had 4 students graduate and successfully defend their project or thesis. And those have included things like Jessie Kelly. She evaluated a verbal behavior or language intervention. She was working with some folks that really didn't have some solid assertiveness skills and be able to communicate yes or no when they wanted something or when they didn't want something. So she was able to establish that skill of them saying yes and accepting things that they valued, and also to say no to things that they wanted to avoid or escape from. An important skill that many of us take for granted. That was absent with some of these learners. And she got great results and arguably improved the lives of those individuals, as it also got her master's degree. So win-win. I currently also have a student, Juliana Bertolucci. She's also interested in working with older adults. So we're in the process of establishing a research site with an aging facility here in Humboldt. As you can imagine, there'll probably be some challenges in the pandemic around that. So, but we're hopeful. We're hopeful. Okay, I've yacked on enough, I think. So if you want to learn more, of course, drop into my breakout room to chat. But also if you go onto the graduate program page in our HSU psychology website, on the side navigation bar, you can find sample curriculum, frequently asked questions, and other information about the emphasis area. And I think that's all I'll say for now. So thank you for your attention, folks.